All right, guys, we continue along path 2 in the Crucible. Next up is Ultron. I went with Gladiator here. He has easy access to like the mid combo stun, similar to Doom, against this Ultron, the main thing is if he gets when you knock him down, it removes the protection, but he also cycles through like 3 different buffs, like an armor up, a fury, and a power gain. And when you knock him down, he gets one of those buffs. If he has a bunch of those buffs and then you do knock him down, he's going to take some burst damage if he has, like, I think 3 or more of those buffs. The other thing that's good with Gladiator is he has a cold snap on his special 1, which will help you mitigate the evades from Ultron. He obviously doesn't evade as crazy as the other Ultron, or if this is like the Ultron Classic as opposed to Ultron Prime. But this one here, you have a cold snap, so then you can ignore the evade as long as the cold snap is up. But for the most part, it is like I get into a good rhythm of getting the cold snap active, use the mid combo stun to remove some buffs. And you can see there's a big burst of damage because he had a bunch of those buffs up at the beginning, or at the time of the heavy attack. The only thing to keep tabs on is when you're going to knock him down and give him a power gain. That's probably not the best. You can see here he has a power gain right now, so I'm just going to wait it out. I don't want to deal with his special 2. And I just kind of stick with special 1s, because even the special 2 is nice with Guardian here, but because it's mainly energy damage, Ultron's just going to, revive a bunch of that anyway. So you can see there that big heavy attack did a huge bunch of damage because we had those a bunch of those buffs that he cycles through that he has, and then we just rinse and repeat the same thing, and Gladiator does a nice clean job on this one. So hopefully that helps, and we'll let the music play out, and we'll see you on the next one. Alright, guys, next up is G2099. You want someone who is you want someone who can deal shocks on this fight. I decided, I think Shuri, I don't know if I was saving Shuri potentially for later, but I have this big, chunky 7-star rank 3 Hulkbuster, and he absolutely shredded Guillotine on this fight. The main shock vulnerability, high voltage, nothing really. It's really, as long as you can put on shocks, you are doing fantastic. And you're going to see here, I just go ahead, I parry in heavy, it puts on a shock and removes the digicloak, and then I just go to town on Guillotine 2099, and Hulkbuster is just incredible here. As long as I keep the digicloak in under control, and I do like to push her to special 2 so that I can actually get some power later on in the fight. I think she does get her special 1 off a couple times, but if you can push to special 2, it's going to make it a lot easier and a lot faster. And I did speed up these fights just a little bit because we're trying to get in a bunch of fights in each of these little morsels of the Crucible. And this one went down really, really nicely. Again, make sure you do the knockdowns in order to remove the digicloak, and then if I could get a parry here, I could remove the power gain instead. She did, the regen there, but that's fine. We'll just wait an extra second, get a few more hits in, and that is it. Super fast with Hulkbuster. Next up is Crossbones. And here I think really you just need any shock immune champion. And for some reason, I keep going back to my previous video, and I'm like, oh, I use Nebula, so that's going to be pretty easy. And it is. Nebula would be great. Problem is my Nebula isn't ranked up very high. And these fights are tuned up from where they were in Act 7 initially. There's nothing too crazy here. He's going to go through a phase where if you hit into his block, it's going to put a shock on you. Like right now, it's just going to put a shock, which is just going to fuel my shock charges. And when that goes down, he's going to be unblockable. If you intercept, you're going to get a Fury, which will also armor break yourself, but you're going to be hitting really hard. Really, all I have to do is play this one slow, bait special ones, and you're absolutely fine. My problem is that at one point I decided to try and be cute and wait till his Furies were gone and try and do a parry into special 2. And when I did that, he is extra aggressive on this fight. It's pretty easy to intercept him if you need to, but unfortunately I decide to be way too cute on this one later on, and I end up getting smacked in the face. I was kind of frustrated about it. I didn't realize that my recording had stopped, and then actually screwed up one more time before going in and finishing off. So I did waste 2 revives on this one, but it was totally unnecessary. Again, not a ranked up Nebula. And again, so many other shock champions will probably be helpful here, like shock immune champions, but yeah, that's all. Really, there's nothing too crazy about this one. It's just a Crossbones that you have to be careful about his unblockable. And as long as you have someone who's shock immune, then you can just hit into his block if you need to, and then you're totally fine. So I am going to just try and get too cute at some point and get clapped in the face, and then I did die one more time, so I did waste 2 revives on this one, which is kind of frustrating, but again, it's not the end of the world. I have a bunch of revives that are going to end up expiring anyway, so if I might as well use them here if I have to. So I'll let the music play out, and we'll see you at the next fight. Alright, next up is the Sabretooth, another fight that I had done pretty easily with Doc Ock during my initial run. Here we're going to try out Warlock here as one of my stronger heal block champions for this Sabretooth. He is bleed immune, so you're not going to be able to do any bleed damage here. It's really just keeping up your infections and doing big special 2s, and again, you can't deal with his power, you can't manipulate his power at all, and he's just going to be throwing a boatload of special 1s. So that's really all it is here. It is a pretty beefy Sabretooth that just keeps throwing special 1s and lots of chip damage throughout the fight. That is pretty much what it is, a lot of chip damage, but when you can see here, Warlock does a really nice job when you get to those special 2s, but again, he is pretty aggressive here and just baiting out those special 1s, and then you're good to go. So nothing too crazy on this one. I'll let the music play out, and we'll see you at the next fight. All right, next up is Yellowjacket. I think this is one that I did with Herc during my initial run because of the encroaching stun. Chieelth is actually amazing for this because she's got the cleanse charges, so you can kind of ignore the encroaching stun. There is some significant power gain on this one, and there's flux dispersal, so you want to be getting heavy attacks in every so often, but there's also heavy assault, so heavy attacks are going to be doing a lot of damage, plus the bleeds are going to help out. So every so often I'm just going to try and bait out a special and throw in a couple heavy attacks, but it is a 7-star rank 2 Chieelth, and she absolutely destroys this Yellowjacket. I am pretty comfortable evading his specials. So that is something to be said there, I guess. And yeah, we just keep evading those specials, attacking back in, keeping tabs on the power. You can see that massive 60k crit on the heavy, which is amazing. And we're going to bait out this special too. Get our own special in here. And he is just melting away. We'll throw another heavy attack, or we get a nice striker into a heavy, remove the flux dispersal. He's almost down. Bait another special too, and that is it. Hope you enjoyed that fight, guys. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.